vocational education in high schools, mainly across America. I'd like to start by taking a look at some high school teachers that we're probably all familiar with. You normally have your English teacher, maybe a foreign language teacher, a history teacher, your math teacher. Pretty much a fairly generic classroom. You have a whiteboard, similar attire. Everybody's in seats generally. Now let's take a look at a different type of teacher. So this is actually a teacher in vocational education somewhere in America. I hope you can see how this situation on the right may be more engaging than the situation on the left. I know we have people who are very interested in math here, but some students may find this a little bit more engaging and something that they can relate to because it is actually hands-on. So through this talk, I'll be talking about career and technical education, or CTE. Next, I'll go into talk about how CTE acts in Europe and how vocational education is set up in Europe, and then conclude by talking about how the idea of college for all maybe isn't right for students across the board in America. So first, career and technical education is vocational education. It's the more modern term for this idea that we teach students in high school and then community college skills-based learning for their future careers. I'll read here the motto for Career and Technical Education organization. Their motto is to prepare students of all ages for success in college and career by helping them develop the skills, technical knowledge, academic rigor, and real-world experience for high-skill, high-demand, highly successful careers. Now that's a very wordy description, but let's boil it down and see what they're trying to achieve. They basically want to prepare students of all ages for both college and a career. CTE starts generally in high school and then continues in community colleges. It acts in approximately 1,300 high schools and 1,700 two-year community colleges in America, affecting some 14 million students. I interviewed a teacher in my local high school, her name is Sarah Hurdell, and she's a teacher in agricultural science, and to see what her perspective was on teaching in career and technical education. She found that many students were more motivated by the hands-on learning and project-based learning than they were in the generic classroom. Additionally, she was able to combine with teachers in math and in science and English and create cross-disciplinary projects, which she found engaged students much better. Just to give you an idea, CTE classes also generally fulfill UC, University of California A2B requirements, so they are also considered academic courses in high school. So this is how CTE is structured in the United States. Let's take a look at Europe and see what they do. Many countries in Europe, like Denmark and Finland, keep all students together in traditional schooling up through 9th or 10th grade. At this point, the students and parents decide where the student will go from there, rather than test scores deciding where they go. In Germany, it's a little bit different. There are 3 divisions of schooling. The first is the Hauptschule, and students are actually tracked from about 4th or 5th grade into these three different divisions. The first being Hauptschule, and students from this program graduate around the age of 15, and with this diploma they can either go into full-time job training or go into something called the dual system. The dual system combines an internship with class time experience, and what they do is 3 to 4 days a week, the student will engage in an internship in a certain career field of their interest, and then the last 1 or 2 days of the week, they will learn and complement what they learn in their internship with what they learn in the classroom. The second form of education or track in Germany is the Realschule. This is very similar to the first, the Hauptschule, but it's usually about 1 or 2 years longer. And from there, students again go back into this dual school where you combine an internship with classroom learning. So finally, there's the gymnasium, which is similar to college preparatory high schools, and students in this generally enter into university in Germany once they graduate. So vocational education in Europe is far more common than it is here. Here's a graph taking a look at different countries. I don't know if you can read them from here, but here we have the Czech Republic and Austria. Both over 70% of students are engaged in some form of vocational education. The reality is that vocational education does do a very good job of placing students at younger ages into jobs. In 2009, the United States unemployment rate between the ages of 15 and 24 was 17.6%, while in Germany the unemployment was 11%. Now this is just one statistic, but generally vocational education does do a great job of placing students into jobs. I'd like to now shift back to the United States, and here we believe in college for all. And I think this is a great goal, but it may not be entirely realistic. About 38% of young adults between the ages of 25 and 34 have a degree past high school. In 2011, the Harvard Graduate School of Education released a report in 2011 talking about the demographic or the group of students that are left out and do not receive any education past high school. About 50 to 60% of students don't move on past high school. The report says that college for all might be the mantra, but the hard reality is that fewer than 1 in 3 people achieve the dream. Fewer than 1 in 3 people. One of the biggest problems in high school is that we're losing students because they don't find high school motivating. I think this is where CTE education can definitely come in and help that. CTE shows students connections between their general subjects and potential careers in their future. So what can we take away from this? I propose that we stop thinking colleges for all. Education after high school, for everyone, yes, I think that's something that we should strive for, but not necessarily college for all. Introducing career and technical education to students in high school shows them that their academic education is applicable to their careers. I do not propose that we do what they do in Germany and track students from a young age. I don't think that has a place here in the United States. But I do think that some form of the dual school where you combine class and an internship maybe after high school would definitely help improve job placement after high school or after some sort of community college. In the long run, good job training in the United States will help people find and retain jobs. So I'd say, let's try to think not necessarily college for all, but a solid foundation in career and technical education for all. Thank you.
Nice. Thanks, Lucio. How'd that feel? Have you practiced before?
I have, not as much as I was hoping to, but...
No worries.
Practice now.
Yeah,
I thought this was the practice.
no, that's the point, right?
I mean, you have 2 weeks,
Yeah, you have a while.
right?
Yeah.
We're all on Wednesday. I think it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think
Oh, is it the Wednesday group?
Yeah.
Is it cool? Alright, well, any initial reactions from you guys? The timing was 8:15, by the way.
Okay.
So keep in mind that you have, maybe a minute and a half worth of content you can add if you want. Okay.
I was a little confused when you were talking about like people being interested in their high school classes versus being interested in college.
Okay.
So like I think you just need to clarify about like how you think that these programs are good in not just like getting people interested in like what they're going to do after high school, but also just keeping people in high school, because I think those are two separate problems, but both important problems that you're addressing.
A couple things on content. I think the PowerPoint was overall really good. I think it was had a good amount of information in it.
Okay.
I think when you're reading quotes, such as like the mission statement of CTE, since I think you're probably going to be reading from your paper just to make sure you read it correctly, I think it might be helpful to see the quote on the screen so we can read along with you.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
that was for the mission statement of the CCE, and then also the quote from the Harvard study about that. And then also the graph that showed in various countries what percent of students.
Purple?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what the yellow and purple meant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally skipped over that one.
Oh.
And then
Yeah.
the very last thing is the picture of welding. I remember you said it was like somewhere in America. I think it could be helpful to know like where in America
Okay.
that was from. But that's good. Otherwise,
Or you
I
could
think
just say this is an example of, and like not say something.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's good.
I have one more comment. I think that you should use like blank slides or blackout or whatever when your picture is relevant, because you have like the 14 million
Yeah.
people there for a long time, even though it was still like, I like remember you talking about the 14 million. It was like you had kind of moved on from there.
Yeah. I had one slides after that. I just
You just-
kind of sort of forgot to.
It's okay.
What do you guys think about the kind of flow of the argumentation? Because maybe one feeling that I had was that I got an idea of your outline in the beginning. You know, you had the 1, 2, 3 for the roadmap, and then by the end, I had kind of forgotten that 1, 2, 3. I don't know. This is a question for everyone. Do you think it would benefit to come back to that roadmap at like two other points in the presentation?
Okay.
Were you guys able to follow it like from the roadmap it was supposed to?
I think it could have helped to like recapitulate a little bit.
Yeah, maybe think about it.
I think I got most of it, but yeah, I did forget about the roadmap itself, even though I like the sequencing was good, but I did forget about the roadmap.
Yeah, it seemed like the argument did flow from one to the other.
Yeah.
I just like had trouble remembering what he said he was gonna do.
Yeah.
So maybe it would help to bring that back. Maybe like one time. Just say like this is where we've been, this is where we're going. It's the whole road mapping language, right? Like tell your reader this is where we are right now, just so that your audience, just so that they, in case they didn't pay attention for 10 or 20 seconds, they can like jump back on the train. But overall, I thought it flowed together pretty well.
On that note, I think you wouldn't even necessarily have to bring back the original roadmap slide, but if in the roadmap slide you sort of give the sections like a clear point or a title or something, then you can introduce the section with like a strong reference to that title.
Yeah.
So that you can say like, and now like maybe as you'll remember from the roadmap, we're now going to talk about this point.
Okay. And if you have like the number 2 up there, people remember, oh yeah, that was the second point, and number 3. You don't necessarily have to use the exact same slide. Right.
I liked your pictures. They were cute, especially in the beginning. Are you taking notes?
Yeah.
I thought you were filling out one of these for yourself. Can I go next? Does anyone have objections to that?
I have to.
You can object. You already left. Okay, I'm gonna take the silence as yes. My glasses.
One last question for you guys. So the intro, the different pictures of types of teachers. I got the impression a little bit that the pictures were flashing too fast to quite take in. Do you think that it would look better if he used one slide, like 4 pictures come up in like quadrants,
Yeah.
Then it might be a little bit easier to like understand what's going on. 'Cause I remember like the history teacher or whatever, I just like looked up and saw that he had, a beard and it was gone. Like, something to think about.
That doesn't work. So.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
This, it doesn't have the bar at the bottom, so if I put something on, it's just like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm sad.
That's awful.
It's okay. I can just hold it. It's not that big of a deal. But just so you know, if anyone else wants to use it, it doesn't work.
What a useless video.
Well, I think that's why they have 2.
I think the primary purpose of lecterns though is for physics matching.